I just want to start off this video by saying, well, I think at this point, I might need some help. I don't really like asking for it, but I've been at this for 3 years now, and I still don't really have the equipment I need in order to make the best videos that I want to make. So, I'll leave you a link to my PayPal where you can make a donation. So, I could get a new camera, probably need a new microphone as well. Yeah. But, alright, got that out of the way, so let's get to the video. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I had the chance to buy more video games than usual last year. But still, the number wasn't quite enough to do a full analysis of 2020's new releases, so I'll only be covering my top 3 choices of the year. So, without further ado, let's get into it. At the number 3 spot, I have Streets of Rage 4. Streets of Rage 4 marks the first sequel in the long-lived beat-em-up franchise since 1994. The 26-year time gap comes with a new hand-drawn HD sprites, online play, and a wide selection of characters. My favorite is newcomer Cherry, a black girl with fiery red dreadlocks and a little electric guitar. There aren't that many black playable men in video games, let alone black women, so that's what drew me to her initially, but she's also quite fun to play as she's the fastest character in the game, which makes everybody else in the game feel slow in comparison. Like, there's only one other character I could play with in the game besides Cherry, and that is Dr. Zan. Apparently he was an old character from Streets of Rage 3. Speaking of, this game the campaign is really short, but it offers a lot of replayability because you can unlock new characters depending on how much you play, and depending on how much you play and how good at you are at the game. So the more points you rack up is how you basically get more characters in the game. The campaign is pretty short, but it does have a lot of enemy variety, and you have enough moves in your arsenal to not make it get boring after a while. Even on normal difficulty, I still had a pretty good challenge in the game. But once you actually get good at the game, it could be easy. You'll be able to play to your character's strengths, pull off nearly endless combos, which is the key of getting a high score. So you can unlock them extra characters. The game also has a story too, but who plays beat 'em ups for stories? The story is basically non-existent to me. You can also unlock the concept art in the game, and there's a few visual elements you could change in the game, like the drops for the food, such as that. And there's a cool CRT mode. I recommend only playing that if you're playing with the retro characters. Otherwise, it just makes the game look weird, in my opinion. But you know, Streets of Rage 4 is a pretty good game. Oh, and it also has a little versus battle mode that you can play with against other people, in addition to the co-op for the campaign. Actually, kind of fun. It actually makes me think that Streets of Rage 4 should have a little fighting game. I think it would be cool. But yeah, that's it for Streets of Rage 4. I was skeptical about the Final Fantasy VII Remake for years. When Square Enix announced it was going to be an episodic title, and that the first one would only take place in Midgar, it made me worry that the game wasn't going to be any good. I mean, just given how they've been over the years. Plus, they wanted to go with an action-based combat system instead of a turn-based. But my main issue with that was what the reason for having it in the first place. It's because they thought that people weren't interested in turn-based combat anymore, which is dumb, as we see an example now with plenty of games sold well with turn-based systems. When the demo for the remake came out, however, my opinion changed, and I was definitely looking forward to it. I still had some hesitation, so I waited I think I waited almost a month before I bought it. Maybe like 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. But once I got into it, I loved it. Final Fantasy VII Remake reimagines the opening segment of the original and organically stretches it out into a full-fledged game with one of the best battle systems the series has ever seen. Fans have been looking forward to this remake since 2005, and it delivered in 2020. visuals are beyond phenomenal, and the characters are fleshed out. There are a few changes to the story I did not like, but as a whole, it was great, and no one will be forgetting the remade Walmart sequence. Oh man, that shit was too good. Also got a video, a full review of Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I'll leave. I put up here, and I also have my opinions on how Barrett was represented in this game. You can find that too. And let's get to my number one. Yes, my number one game in 2020 is a definitive edition of a 2017 release, but I don't give a fuck. Persona 5 was one of the best games I ever played, and Persona 5 Royal is one of the best games I ever played, but even better. It is an understatement to just call this game a remaster or definitive edition. There are so many changes, from the combat, new story characters, 3 additional confidants, a new explorable era. I mean, this shit is a lot, and I'm still missing a lot of stuff, like the third semester. It's like, all this stuff adds about 40 extra hours of gameplay. And I'm still missing a whole lot of other things added to the game. It's just so much. I played Persona 5 for the first time in 2019 and haven't been obsessed with it since. Roll just fed it even more with just how well it refines everything. Persona 5 still has one of my favorite narratives in video game history, and the third semester chapter adds a new tone that gives you new perspective on certain characters. And even a segment of the new padlets had me questioning things in my own life. Royal was a truly unrepresented game in 2020 and deserved more praise, and at least an award for someone's Game of the Year or RPG of the Year. It should have won that at least from one of these major outlets. Phantom Thieves is now my favorite superhero team. I love this game to the bottom of my heart. Also, to let y'all know, I didn't have Cyberpunk 2077 anywhere in here just because of how bad the launch was, and I still haven't finished the game yet, so that's another reason for that. So, but yeah, out of all the games I played, let me see, I had a list of, I think, about 9 games I played this year. They were Dreams, Street Fighter V Champion Edition, Streets of Rage 4, Half-Life Alyx, Doom Eternal, Persona 5 Royal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Fall Guys, Resident Evil 3, and Cyberpunk 2077. Alright guys, so just let me know in the comments below what your favorite titles from 2020 was, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.